guys, welcome back to Fancy Goldfish Fanatics. Today we are doing an episode of tank tours, but unlike our usual episodes, we're actually going to be featuring two tanks in today's video. And I should say two tanks, but I really should say one tank and one stunning fancy goldfish pond. So we are going to be looking at a really nice fancy goldfish aquarium setup. One of you, the subscribers at home, has actually sent in this video, and he's actually put together a really lovely cinematic shot or cinematic view of his tank. So we're going to be taking a look at that, having a little bit of a look at the tank, the breakdown, the fish inside as well. We're also going to be having a look at this absolutely stunning fancy goldfish pond. We're going to be having a look at some DIY filter methods, and overall it's going to be a really interesting episode. So first, let's have a look at this stunning fancy goldfish tank. But just before that, I cannot wait to see everyone at the GSGB event in September. Well, September, I should say, in a few weeks' time. The day is coming so fast. I think we've got around 3 weeks until the event, something like that. So hopefully you've all booked your places. Obviously, you know it is completely free to attend. We've got the goldfish show, we have the open day, the Star Fisheries open day, we have food, drinks, we have, what else have we got? I think we've got Newlyn Pets doing a stand there. We've also got the guest speakers, myself, I'm doing a talk there as well. So it's going to be an awesome day. Hopefully you've booked your tickets. I don't know if there is any availability left. I think the event may be sold out, but if you still would like to go, please send an email down below. The email is in the description for Star Fisheries, and you need to email them to see if there is any availability or any slots left on the day, but definitely attend. But that is all on the GSGB event. Let's check out this stunning tank and pond and see what you guys have sent to me at home. First up, you can see we have this absolutely beautiful fancy goldfish tank. Really like this tank. Lovely and minimalistic and simple. Looks like we've got a range of stunning fancy goldfish. We've got some Aranda and some Ranchu. Now, I believe these fish actually came from Choo Choo Goldfish in Austin, Texas. And this tank was actually originally a marine tank. Now, the owner of this tank let me know a few sort of details about the tank. So the tank originally was a marine tank, and I absolutely love to use old marine tanks or repurposed marine tanks as fancy goldfish systems. They generally have a nice rimless effect to them, so they're really sleek and stylish. They also generally have a sump system and a really nice compact weir system, as you can see in the video. We also have some slimline plant LEDs as well on top, and these create a really bright environment for the fish. Now, you will see below the cabinet we have that sump area. Now, there are some disposable socks that get changed out every 1 to 2 days, which is why the water is so lovely and crystal clear. Looks like we've also got some wave makers on there as well, potentially the Nero 3s or Nero 5s from Aqua Illumination. Really good to have a nice amount of water movement throughout your fancy goldfish aquarium, although we don't want to have too much water movement so our fish aren't stressed out, as they are quite slow moving fish. It is good to have enough circulation so you have enough oxygen pumping around the system, and dirt and detritus isn't collected in substantial amounts on the base of the tank. Now, you can see we've got some biomedia in here as well. We've got some Marine Pure, and we've also got some Biohome as well, which is absolutely great quality filter media. I believe we have some Sitche or Sitche Shark Pro pumps as well to help give that biomedia lots of oxygen and surface agitation, so we don't get too much build up on that as well. Having clean and clear biomedia is very important to make sure the bacteria can access the oxygen to break down that ammonia into nitrite and nitrite into nitrate. Then obviously those fine filter socks, the really fine micron filter socks, are removing all of the suspended solids and detritus within the tank. Looks like we've got a nice black substrate, which is really allowing the colours of the fish to pop against the black background. We have a few sort of rocks or river stones in there as well, nice and smooth so the fish don't get injured, which is always what I like to see. And I'm really liking the black background coupled up with that black substrate as well, because the fish are looking really good. We've got some really nice quality fish. They look in superb health, and I just love the way this system has been set up. Now, I really like the use of a sump, especially in a fancy goldfish aquarium, because it means you don't have to have any equipment like heaters or overflow pipes or any canister filter inflows and outflows within the system, and everything can be added to the sump. Now, you may notice that the water is super crystal clear, and this is because there is also a 40 watt UV running on this system. Now, I also run a 25 watt UV on my system, and it really helps to elevate that water clarity and really make it super clear for your fancy goldfish. Obviously, a UV as well is killing any pathogens and bacteria that's running through it, which is also good for your fish to keep them in a more sterile condition and make sure the water quality is slightly better. Now, you definitely don't need to run a UV. Personally, I only ran one because I was getting green water from all the light from the lights above the tank and the sunlight coming through the patio doors, but it definitely elevates the level of clarity through the tank. Absolutely love this tank. Thank you so much for sending it in. So now we're going to have a look at this absolutely amazing fancy goldfish pond. Absolutely love this. Looks like it's in a garage sort of situation, garage scenario. We obviously have a large tank which has been cladded in lots of decking boards. We have a nice range of different fancy goldfish in it. Now, we don't get to see too many fancy goldfish ponds, especially ponds of this size, and it's an absolutely great environment for the fish. Huge volumes of water, which means they can have lots of space to move around in, lots of areas to feed if you have an algae carpet, and obviously if you've got big filtration, you can give these fish a lot of food and they will grow really well in this kind of environment. Now, I believe this tank or this pond has lots of DIY filter methods to it, and it is sort of a do-it-yourself pond. This isn't a plug-and-play system that the owner has purchased off the shelf. He's just giving them what looks to be some frozen bloodworm, and these are really high in protein and great for the fish. As the pond is inside, it doesn't look like we have any sort of algae growth or any algae carpet, because obviously when you're keeping your tank or pond inside and you're not getting that natural sunlight, you won't really develop much algae unless you have some really strong lights or really good lighting above the pond. Now, we can see that we have some sort of purplish lights going on, and I believe these are grow lights which are growing the terrestrial plants and aquatic plants around the pond, or the terrestrial plants around the pond environment. Looks like we have a nice range of different fish in there as well, and it's really nice to see a range of varieties, sizes, colours as well. Really liking this pond so far. It looks really good, and I think in just a moment we're actually going to have a look at the filtration system as well. You can see the grow lights over the plants, which is actually sort of above the system, and I believe the garage lights or the lights within the room actually lighting up the pond. But here, as I mentioned, we can see the DIY filter system. Looks like we've got some filter foam, so I assume there's some sort of biological filter media below as well. Looks like that is being pumped out of that sort of gravity fed box filter and then over this shower. So I'm assuming that was the mechanical side of the filter, and this is more of the biological side. Looks like we've got some bacteria home media, maybe some sintered glass media, which has a high level of surface area for bacteria, meaning you can add lots of food to your system. Looked like we had a lot of media in there as well compared to the amount of media you would normally fit in a canister filter. But over now we are looking at a second system which looks like it has some small or baby ranchu in there, some kind of floating plants, and at first glance this looks like it may potentially be an old bathtub, which I absolutely love that they have actually repurposed an old bathtub, if I am correct, and used it as a pond. You can see we've got a bit more algae going on in this one. This one potentially is outside and it is getting lots more natural sunlight. Also, they are getting a nice feed of some bloodworm as well. Looks like we've got some floating aquatic vegetation above the fish as well. Not too sure what plant that is exactly, but it's obviously, if they are in an outside environment, it's nice to have that plant cover so the fish are able to escape from predators and not get burnt from heavy levels of the sun. But thank you so much for sharing both of these systems. Really enjoyed seeing the two contrasting systems and absolutely love the setup. So hopefully you've enjoyed today's video. It was really nice to see that tank. Lovely video that was put together, so I really appreciate that one. I believe that one was sent in by Stuart or Lee. Sorry, Stuart and Lee were the guys who actually submitted the videos today, so thank you for both of those submissions, and I absolutely love that pond. Really love the DIY skills that have been used there, the different filtration methods, and what a lovely pond and lovely fish. But that is it for today's video. Hopefully I'll see you at the GSGB event very soon. But as always, thank you for watching. Remember to keep those water changers up, and happy fish keeping.